Okay, so do you think you have a lot of healthy and good habits of successful people?
Yeah, I think I want to rewind a little bit and talk about why it's important to have habits.
Yeah.
And I always remind parents and students that you have to want success as bad as you want to breathe.
Yes.
And if you want success, then we have to start with something very simple, which is routine, repeated behavior, and that's a habit. So let me ask you, something simple, sleep.
Yes.
Do you have consistent sleep habits?
Nope.
Okay.
It fluctuated.
Sure. So what time do you usually go to bed and what time do you wake up?
It's gonna be a shame because I go to bed around 2 a.m.
Oh, that's so late.
And then I wake up maybe like 6 or 7 and I
Okay.
have 4 hours sleep a day, and that is really a shame.
Yeah, and then with sleep deprivation, you can't really function at optimal performance.
That's right. It affects a lot.
Earlier you mentioned about Googling, searching
Yeah.
successful habits of
Yeah.
healthy people,
Yeah.
right? Or successful people.
Yeah.
And I think the number one thing is they have great sleeping habits.
Oh.
So for me, I go to bed every night by 10 p.m. consistently,
10 p.m.
and I wake up at 5 a.m.
Since when?
Probably when I was in high school.
In high school. But how did you have that habit?
Sure. Have you ever heard of The Power of Habit? It's a book written by Charles Duhigg.
Yes,
Okay,
I
so
do.
he's a New York Times reporter who writes about the science of habit formation. And he breaks it down into very simple ways in which we can understand. He talks about cue, routine, reward. Have you heard of that principle before?
I heard that, but I'm not really so sure about that. Could you
Okay,
give me
so
more
I'll give you an
details?
example. Brushing your teeth, right?
Yes.
That's definitely a good habit, right? Because if we don't, we're going to have yellow teeth, we're going to have cavities,
Yeah.
and that creates bad breath, creates all sorts of problems, right? So the cue would be every morning my alarm clock goes off. The routine is as soon as I get out of bed, I go to the mirror and I brush my teeth. And the reward is I have a minty, fresh breath. Right? So what we do in following the 3-step process is we condition our brain to have a craving, right? Just like you crave for ice cream, you crave for pizza, you crave for this reward. And what you're doing is then you're building the muscle. Right? You're building willpower. You're building the craving so that your brain constantly wants to follow that cue, routine, reward process.
So it's just like working out and going to the gym every day.
Sure. Why do you exercise?
I think it's good for my health and it's good for my work as well, because when we have good health, we can do everything.
Absolutely. So I think in order to build a habit, we have to recognize the value that it adds to our life long term. Yeah. Healthy habits equals lifelong success. How do you motivate yourself to go to the gym?
Maybe especially when I'm getting fat or like I'm getting on weight. So I think that, oh my God, I'm determined to go to the gym and to lose weight and to
Sure.
have a fit body.
So maybe the cue is you look at yourself in the mirror, right? Or maybe you motivate yourself by watching other fitness
Yes.
enthusiasts on social media, and that triggers this response in your brain that, hey, I also need to be fit. And the
Yes.
routine then is you go into the gym every day, 30 minutes, 45 minutes to an hour. And after your workout, do you usually feel good?
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
Sure. So we release endorphins in our brain. We feel high, we feel happy. And in doing so, right, we can create this lifelong habit.
That's right. So in the last episode, we were talking about discipline,
Yes.
and you told me that discipline is kind of a contributor to the, lifelong success and growth. So in what way does, healthy habits and good habits add up to this formula?
Sure. So I think habits are something that we cannot choose to do just for the sake of, right? As a matter of fact, we have this formula here for how we can build healthy habits.
Amazing.
Mentors provide us with purpose, a very clear sense of purpose, and that drives our motivation and builds the discipline. And with discipline, then we can follow through on habits. Habits are something we have to do consistently every day.
Yes.
Right? It's a choice that we make to follow that routine, and in doing so, we feel great about it.
So this process includes so many things. Yes, it's pretty complex and challenging for some students, because we know that healthy habits is really important in the success of a student. Speaking with Mythbuster, habit formation, it takes 21 days to form a habit. What do you think about this?
Sure. So I think it's just a number. I've heard 21 days. I've heard 66 days. Honestly, habit formation takes a lifetime
Yes.
because we have to be consistent. right? So it's not like after 21 days, our brain triggers the light switch, and on the 22nd day, we continue that. So I would say that's absolutely a myth.
According to a report or an article that I read, it takes 14 days to form a habit, actually. So is that right, or?
Yeah, so I wouldn't put a number on it, because a habit is something that you want to do lifelong.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's not so much about the number of days, but it's more about the mindset that you have and the conscious choice you make every morning. You know, an example about working out, there's some mornings where my body is so sore, right, where I'm really exhausted. I don't want to wake up at 5. I want to sleep in. But in that moment of weakness, right, I trigger that response to say, hey, I need to get out of bed. I need to go to the gym and train.
Oh, so you've just emphasized the importance of healthy habits in the lifelong journey and process.
Absolutely.